Hi guys, welcome to another pick a pile. It's 18 plus but with love messages this time. So you've got pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4 and pile 5. So you have green adventurine, you have sodalite, you have like an earth jasper, you have a blue howlite but it's the raw form, it's like a bubble. It's all bubbles on it. And then the last one is a speckled obsidian. I'm going to start by lighting some incense and some Palo Santo just to clear the energy, and then I'm going to start. So I don't know if you can see, but I've lit my nice candle and I'm going to light my incense. Hi guys, so pile 1, if you got the raw green adventurine, this is your pile. So the first card that you have, which is the main energy, is the Six of Wands. It's quite funny. The male is chasing after the female, so if you have either a female energy or you're a female, the male energy, or the male is coming after you. This is 18 plus love reading though, so I'm going to get into your love quote, and your love quote is, will you, or the question is, will you marry me? So that's quite sweet. The next one you have is soulmate and love of your life, which is quite sweet as well. The next card I have is a David Bowie song. So maybe you or this person might quite like David Bowie, and here's the quote is, "Oh no, not me, we never lost control." And that is from Man Who Sold the World. The next card is your spiritual message, and that is, a loved one is trying to contact you from the other side. And the zodiac sign that you have or they have is Cancer, and how they say they love you is, you mean so much to me, or you could say, you mean so much to me too. The next card you have is the Six of Arrows, and because that is my different deck, that is the Six of Swords. The next card that you have is the Seven of Pentacles, which is quite sweet because they're both hugging each other. So that means that it's quite an affectionate relationship. The next card is another affectionate sort of looking relationship, and that is the Five of Chalices, and the male is caressing the female and giving her lots of gifts, and it looks like they're kinda at a sort of spa, so that's quite nice. Maybe you should go on a spa trip, or you should both use essential oils. The next card you have is one of your naughty cards, and that's, I have fancies, I even scare myself. That's either coming from your male or that could be you. The next card you have is the Seven of Swords. So you have the 6 and 7 of Swords, and then your next card, which is your Oracle, which usually is advice from your spiritual guides, and this is waves of prosperity, new abundance and exciting opportunities wash over you now. So look out for anything good in the future. I'm going to delve a bit deeper into these two cards as well. Your Six of Swords card means basically you're coming out of hard or bad waters and you're going into good waters, so you're going to have a nice journey soon, and it links to waves of prosperity as well. This usually means you've experienced bad luck or feelings of guilt in relationships in the past. So maybe have a little revise over your past relationships or any feelings of guilt that you have now, and if you can correct them, then you'll be able to move forward, okay? And that was pile 1. Thank you. I almost forgot to do your initials, so I've just got a handful of some initials and I'm going to check them and see which ones come out. So you have B, you have K for this pile, you have V, you have W, you have F, you have H, you have G, you have R, you have another H, you have another F, and you have a P. So they're your initials. Thank you for joining me, pile 1. I'm now going to head over to pile 2. So for pile 2, you picked Sodalite, this crystal. This is a really good crystal because it can actually help with anxiety, so it's a nice crystal. Your energy is the 7 of Wands, and it looks like they're caressing each other or having a nice hug, so that's quite sweet. Your first love message is, I talk about you to my friends and family. They already like you. So your person talks to your family, their family, and maybe your family too. So that's quite sweet. So they must really like you, and if their family like you, then they're giving you a good name, so don't worry about their family. The next one is Twin Flame. So this could be good or bad. So if you work on your flaws, it will go well. And maybe if you don't communicate very well, maybe that might be where you're going wrong. So just look out for arguments or anything like that and just try and work with each other. Your next card is, if I only could make a deal with God and get him to trade our places. This is your quote, and it's a Kate Bush song. Your next card is, stop and find time for yourself. Keep a note of your mental health. This is your spiritual advice, so either from your guide or your guardian angel. So just make sure that you focus on either your mental health or your partner's mental health. And the zodiac sign that you have for this pile is Libra, and this is how they could say they love you, or maybe how you say you love them. You're my favourite kind of person. Okay, so your future card is 2 of Vessels, and that is attraction, so that's quite sweet. So you're both attracted to each other, so that answers your question if you were asking that. Your next card is Queen of Wands. There's like a bit of a scene, there's some fire going on, so maybe you like a candlelit dinner. The male is like in awe of the female, so if you have a female energy or you're a female, you're quite a seductress. And then the next card is a really sweet one. It's in the sun, like it kind of looks like the evening, and they're just having a nice kiss, and it looks like harvest time, so if you really like autumn, then that's probably your time to meet each other, or you can meet each other in the fall or autumn. So that looks nice. That's quite a romantic scene. And then your naughty card is Tie You Up. That's fake. They like fake torture, fake kidnap, and blindfolds, so watch out for that one. That's funny. Oh, and your other naughty card as well has the woman blindfolded, so if you're a woman or a female, you'll be being blindfolded, so that links in with the other card. That's quite funny. And then your general oracle card is positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. So if you have anyone that you're questioning, like a friend or a family member that are bringing you down or making you feel negative in any way, then have a break from them or don't see them at all if you really have your doubts. So that's some good advice. I'm going to delve a bit deeper into these 2 cards and this card because that will tell me a little bit more about your future with your partner. This card is a welcome sight in regards to relationships, and it looks like the relationship is equal and will go on for a long time because there's a love heart with fire coming off of it, and fire burns for quite a long time. So this looks promising. Oh, and your next one was the Queen of Wands. This card represents a cheerful, helpful nature and signifies that you could be a mum as well, so that's quite sweet. And your next one is the Sun. Oh, that's a big card as well. This card represents success, triumphs, happiness, and good fortune in relationships too. So that's a really good card, and that's the Sun. So that's one of the major cards too. So that's really good. It's probably one of the best cards to get as well. So that's nice. And next, the last thing I'm going to do is get your person's initials. Ooh, kind of went everywhere. Right, so the first one is K, U, U, V, P, R, R, J, A, N, X, L, K, or T. So there's your person's initials. Right, I'm going to move on to pile 3 now. Right, so your next pile is the Earth Jasper. It's quite pretty, it's quite a new one that I have. Oh, and I just chucked it, whoops. And your main energy is the Knight of Cups. So the female or the female energy is trying to seduce the male or the male energy. It's quite funny. And then your love card is will you move in with me? So that's quite sweet, going to the next step after being the girlfriend or the boyfriend, so that's cute. Then your love song quote is I'm so ugly, but that's okay, because so are you. So that means you're in it together, and it's a Kurt Cobain song / Nirvana song. So if you like Nirvana as well, either they or you could like Nirvana. Next you have trust your gut / intuition. So that is your advice from your spiritual guide or guardian angel. So trust your gut and intuition about your relationship. Next, you've got Taurus as either your zodiac sign or mainly their zodiac sign. So you have you're hilarious. That's how they say they love you. If they find you funny, they probably fancy you or love you, which is quite sweet. And next you have the 9 of Arrows, which is the 9 of Swords. I don't know if you can see the card. Next you have 9 of Chalices, which is the 9 of Cups. And it's quite a sweet scene as well. You have a man and a woman holding hands, so it looks like they're gazing into each other's eyes and they're both in love with each other, so that's quite sweet. Next you have the 10 of Chalices. This one's quite funny because the female or female energy is asking the male to go and get something, and she's like acting like a bit of a princess, so that's quite funny. If you're treated like a bit of a princess and the male or male energy does everything for you, that's quite sweet because that's their way of showing that they love you. And your next card is your naughty card. This one says your mouth is magical and don't stop. And your next card is the 6 of Wands as well. So basically the picture is just a little house and a man walking up to the house as well, and it's surrounded by lots of nice fields, so it looks like it could be spring as well. So if you like spring as a season, that's a nice time for you, or you might have met each other in the spring as well. And also house, so it represents moving in. So if you're worried about a deposit or not moving in, you'll probably move in this year or very soon. Next card is your Oracle, and it says protection. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. So if you've been praying or been worried lately, this is confirmation that you're protected and help is coming. I'm going to delve a bit deeper into this card and these two cards as well. This card shows that you've either experienced a lot of suffering in the past or kind of at the moment, could be to do with bereavement, and also shows that you could experience a lot of anxiety as well. And that should end soon, but keep an eye on it. This card represents material fulfillment, abundance, probably like a better wage or promotion, and then a lot of calm waters in your relationship. This card represents a better home life, love, happiness, and potential marriage as well, so that's quite sweet. So that's a nice card. Next, I'm going to do your initials. The initial that just fell out of my hand as well is an I. So you have R, you have J, you have W, you have another R, you have an N, you have a T, you have an I, you have another K, you have an O, you have a B, you have another T, oh, an A, you have an L, you have a C, you have a Z, you have an X, you have a H, and another I. So I is very significant because it came out about 3 times and fell out of my hand earlier. So focus on the I. And I'm now going to move on to pile 4. Now I'm going to move on to pile number 4. So you would have chosen the blue howlite, and it's got bubbles in it too, so it's a raw version. And your overall energy is the 2 of cups, so there's chocolates, and there is a weird type of potion, but maybe you like food and drink, so you might be wined and dined. And then you have the male energy is the predominant energy in this one, so it's either your male is quite bold and is chasing after you, or your male energy is chasing after you. Anyway, so your love card is this one. Let's have or adopt kids. Oh, that's sweet. And then your next card is, I feel like I've met you before, past life. So maybe you've married or loved each other in a past life, which is really sweet. Especially if you really believe in past lives, you've probably met each other before, and maybe your souls know each other too. Your next card is, don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Pussycat Dolls. That is your song quote. So you or them could really like that song. And they could be bragging about you too. Your next card is, stop worrying, everything is working out how it is supposed to. So if you felt a bit anxious about your relationship, or you're worried about your relationship or partner potentially cheating on you, don't worry, because they're not. And this is also guidance from your spiritual guide or guardian angel. And your next card is your zodiac or their zodiac, and that is a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn myself, so Capricorns are quite cool. Sometimes they have like a bit of a wall up, but they are really good. Okay. And how they say they like you is they're a bit nonchalant and they'll be like, I guess you're okay. So that's either them that says that or you. Your next card is the World Tree, which is basically the world. So that is a big card. So maybe you mean the world to them or they mean the world to you. So that's quite sweet. That's just another bit of reassurance too. Your next card is the Three of Chalices. It's a bit naughty. Again, the male is predominant in this card. So the male is probably chasing after you. And maybe you're not chasing after them, but they're making most of the effort. The next card is Temperance, which is another big card as well. There's a female here. She looks really comfortable and she has stalks behind her, so that could mean pregnancy. and she is also pouring water into another cup, which means sharing two different fluids, so that obviously means pregnancy or children. Your next card is you cause me so many awkward situations and feelings at work. So that one's funny. So if you work together, sometimes it might be a bit awkward, but it's not always their fault. Your next card is another card, and that is the Emperor, so that's another major card. This one's got kind of like a bit of a cheeky feeling to it, because one of the people in the card are dressing up as a Joker, there's a king, and then there's a female as well, so it's quite funny. So maybe one of you will dress up as a clown or a Joker, or you can have a little laugh too. And your next card is Helpful Person. Someone wants to help you. Think of whom that might be and initiate contact. So this could either be your person, or you could be getting help from your spiritual guides. So maybe be a bit more spiritual and listen out for things, or look out for numbers that come a lot when you're out and about. You might see repeating patterns. So I'm going to delve a bit deeper into these three cards. This card is about assurance, victory and success, so that could mean a lot of success in your relationship. So that is just reassurance, so that is really nice. Your next card was the Three of Cups. This card represents emotional happiness and abundance too, so it's actually quite a sweet card, even though it looks quite strange. But yeah, that's quite sweet. Your next card is Temperance, which is another major arcana. This card represents patience, balance and healing, and obviously perhaps pregnancy too, so that's quite nice. Next, I'm going to be doing your person's initials. Again, K's come out, keeps coming out. I think there's an odd one out, I might leave that one. Right, so you've got J, you've got G, you've got V, you've got F, you've got O, you've got C, you've got L, you've got O, you've got V, you've got L, you've got R, you've got R, you've got I, you've got O, you've got D. So you could actually think you could pretty much spell love with this one. So that's quite sweet. And the person's initials, the main one is O as well, so look out for O. Thank you for joining me, pile 4. I'm going to head on to pile 5 now. So next is pile 5. Just got a bit of incense dust on there. And this is the Speckled Obsidian. Quite a big chunk. It's meant to be protective as well. And it looks pretty too. So your main energy is the Hierophant. So this looks like this could be a third party situation, and there's kind of like an energy of perhaps a one night stand. There's 2 women and a bloke involved, so there could be a weird third party involvement, or this could be a thing that is brought into the bedroom too. Right, so your love card is I'm scared of commitment. That's coming from either the male or the female. Your next card is Karmic. This is a relationship to learn from, and usually it's one that hurts your feelings. So just look out and be wary. And your song quote is, when I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Britney Spears. So it could be like a one night stand thing, and you either want them or they want you to hit them one more time. So maybe you've broken up with each other and they still wanna get with you, or they're already married and you are a fling. Your next one is you are completely surrounded by angels. So even though this is a hurtful relationship, you'll be healed by your angels, and your angels are trying to look out for you. That's why they gave you that advice. That is the karmic. And that is your advice from your angels, that you need to listen out or look out for your angels. Maybe take a little bit of time to pray to your angels or ask for some help from your angels too, because they'll help you. Your next card is a Virgo, as either their or yours zodiac sign, and how they say I love you is you're such a weirdo, or you could say that too. The next card is Six of Stones, and that is exploitation. So maybe they might be taking advantage of your feelings for them, or you could be taking advantage of them. Exploitation doesn't sound very good though. Your next card is Ace of Swords. This is kind of like a weird tying up or BDSM type look. The woman's in like loads of leather and the bloke's being tied to the bed. So this is quite a weird dynamic, or maybe something you two like. The next card is the Emperor. So it looks like the Emperor's got quite a big ego. He's got a big, it's kind of like a staff that he's holding. So he thinks he's all powerful and he's amazing. He's got a bit of a six pack as well. So he looks like a bit of a typical player. And your naughty card is grab those titties or balls. So that's your card. And then your next one is just the King of Cups. That's a bit of a weird card as well. It links in with that other card that's quite funny. Again, the male's dominant and the woman looks like she's just having fun, or the female energy is just having a bit of fun. And so is the male energy, so it's probably a one-night stand. And then your next card is Empowerment. You're more powerful than you realise. It's safe for you to be powerful. So maybe if you walk out of that relationship or you don't have much self-confidence, you actually do have a lot of confidence there. You just got to try and believe in yourself a little bit more. And then you might find the one. So I'm going to delve a bit deeper into these two cards and this card, because that will tell me a little bit more about the situation. This card is kind of entrepreneurial. It's about success and material gains more than a relationship. And your next card was the Ace of Swords. This card probably reflects you. It's a force of strength and inner power. The woman is in the powerful position. So the female energy is powerful. The next card is the Emperor, which I think is part of the Major Arcana. This card represents authority and power, and there is a powerful male influence in your life too. So I'm now going to go on to your initials of your person. Oh, that one's stuck. The first one you have is T. Next one you have is X. Next one you have is X, or it could be your X. You have F, you have H, you have B, you have B, you have B, you have O, you have B, you have O again, you have another B, you have a Y, you have an N, you have a C, and you have a W. And the one you got quite a lot is, I think, oh, you got B the most. So I'd look out for a B name, and potentially look out for your X as well, because this reading could be about your X. Maybe your X isn't good for you and is an X for a reason. Also look out for the initial B. Right, so that is the end of your reading. Thank you for joining me. Bye.